you know, like trying to like have me duped in a courthouse. Human trafficking, if you want to know where it starts most of the time, it starts at a psychiatric ward. You anger the cartel, black gangs, Pacific Islander to Asian communities, Caucasian, non-Caucasian mafias, Middle Eastern, I don't know, East Asian human traffickers. And then they have control over your healthcare and especially the mental health care system, and boom, you're trafficked. Anyway, first person on the list, Donald Trump. Donald Trump being on the list, I was like, let's just figure it out. Put all the information right here. I'm like, well, I've been seeing a lot of crazy, like, you know, hashtags and everything. I've been seeing a lot of odd occurrences of, like, you know, hashtags like Trump Incorporated or like Trump Cartel. And I thought it was weird with the recent news about like Trump just wanting to only do tariffs on Russia when Russia said, hey, you've been doing a lot of wrong, just nobody's figured it out, you know? You be careful because America will turn on you and you'll have a war with America instead of you yourself, and you'll be really screwed. And I'm seeing all these odd occurrences, and then I'm like, like Trump Panama, Trump Incorporated, Trump Cartel. And then as soon as, you know, Russia says something like that, that's when he positions, you know, these submarines there. It's like, whoa. You know, that's kind of like when a Hispanic or Latin or a black to non-black gets offended when you point out that they're doing you wrong, and then they attack you for it, which is ironic because this like group of black people injured these like this white couple. I think it's like New Orleans or something like that. I'll try to like put that, you know, somewhere right here. You know, so that way the information is correct. And ironically enough, they're Russian, so I don't know, but that doesn't have to do with anything. So I was like, yeah, this is an interesting person on the list. But you see, this whole information, it could go on there like long and long and long. But we got to move on to the next person. Gosh. Besides, don't most people not want to talk about Trump? Hey, I've actually kind of liked Trump during his first presidency. Now, I mean, it's kind of hard to, you know, like a guy, depending on what he does, but I mean, you know, some criminals are gonna be like, well, we respect it. Hey man, remember when he got like what was it, a mugshot, and then everybody was on his side. They're like, man, he's a real one. Oh shoot. But then if they find out that he does anything worse than Diddy, Epstein, or El Chapo all combined together, which is like Hispanic to Latin communities, or like population, black to non-black population, and like Caucasian to non-Caucasian, and that basically could like even include like Asian to Pacific Islander communities, sort of. Then they're like, man. I'm like, yeah, it gets pretty deep. Okay, so we gotta move on to the next person. Ralph Nader, American lawyer. Excuse my handwriting, by the way, but whatever. So this person, I'm like, whoa. Add the information right here. I'll keep doing it during the whole video, but I was like, whoa, what is this about? You know, this guy's on Epstein List. I'm like, man, this is so crazy. Why would an American lawyer be on here, you know? And mind you, this is not the first and last lawyer. Like, there's a couple on here, which is concerning, but it makes sense because, like, if Diddy gets away with what he wants, and if they try to get Trump in trouble, but he has all these felonies and still gets to be the president, but still gets to hide stuff like the Epstein List, then it gets like really complicated. It's almost like there's no, justice system, and it makes sense because I'm autistic. They try to treat me like I'm the worst national security threat, to the point where I don't even get my Social Security. I get almost no health care, and when I do, I had to do a lot just to barely get enough health care, and I didn't get any when I wasn't whistleblowing. When I wasn't whistleblowing and all these traffickers were after me and I didn't put any evidence, it was just bad. So, lawyers, there's a lot on there. Anyway, by the way, I know people are like, what the heck? Wait, what? This is the Epstein List? I'm like, yes. Dude, it's like almost a trailer, but not really. Like, I'm revealing it right now, dude. And people are getting excited. They're like, whoa. I'm like, yes. Look, I already have 2 whole pages. Gosh. And I already put it out there beforehand. So people are basically getting, like, they're getting the cake before it could even be served to them. Look, my own Epstein List. Matthew Monzo. Yes, I'm going to put it out there. Look, Jeffrey Epstein. Vigera Garfi. Ghislaine Maxwell. And then it gets crazier and crazier and crazier. Sean D. Combs, of course. Kanye West, of course. Look at Drake. This is literally Drake. That's his full name. Look, Rihanna. That's her full name. Crazy. Okay, it gets crazier and crazier and crazier. I want to put a nice video out though. So let's just go up here from the list, and then we'll reveal more in better ways. But this is just like kind of like a trailer, sort of an extensive trailer, sort of, but not really. Like, I'm just gonna release the list as much as I can right now. This one was crazy. Adam Schiff, American lawyer and politician for junior U.S. Senate of California. I'm like, California. I'm like, you guys have been like really like doing some bad stuff to me, you know what I'm saying? Like, you guys let the cartel bully me in and out of like emergency rooms, in and out of businesses. I call like Gavin Newsom's office, and like he doesn't really do anything for me. Okay, I'm gonna stop. So this kind of makes sense because I tried to call like Gavin Newsom's office just to like leave comments, and like ironically they're putting me on hold right in queue, and then like as soon as I would start like recording, they just completely blocked my number. So I was like, wow, they're really spying on me. But yeah, all this guy's stuff right here, any controversies, crazy stuff. I don't even know what to say really, but pretty crazy. Anyway, let's keep going. Michael Burks. Pretty sure that's how you say his name. American investor. This one I was like, wow. I'm like, man. I'm trying not to like, be too animated and like make this seem like a joke, but I was just like, whoa, because, he goes to, UCLA, that big blue and yellow, that big, Chinese communist to, Diddy, that Diddy underground black community trafficking. I was like, wow. UCLA, you're screwed. Next one, Emud Hillary, an explorer. I was like, whoa. I was like, an American explorer. So, all I got stuff right here. And then I was like, that's about 5 people on there that I'm just gonna put out for now. Let's go to some more concerning ones, because I want cartel to just have the worst day of their lives right now. I want that single lady president panicking. I want that single lady cartel president panicking. This is under companies, organizations, and artists, like bands mostly. U.S. Mexican Numeric Association, dealing with their coins and currency. I'm like, so, the penny goes, at no value anymore, but the peso is still good. I'm like, must have something to do with trafficking. Must have something to do with making trafficking easier. Also, for example, in Mexico, don't even get me started. There's no human rights organizations going out to Tijuana, which there's a lot of human trafficking out there. And, all these, like, underage Latinas and, like, underage Hispanic to Latin girls, getting trafficked. Yeah. They're not out there. Like out in Palestine, they're not out there. I don't even really care about Palestine, but not like that, It's just, I gotta care about my own people. Sorry, not sorry. AmeriCast, BBC. I'm like, why a news agency? And then I'm like, oh, La Puente. Hey, remember when I started smelling, the fires? And I'm like, let me ask cartel. I don't know what illegal immigrants you're talking about. All I know is cartel. I was like, let me ask them for a job, because I happen to be, going homeless. You still want to call me white? They didn't give me a job, by the way. And I'm like, oh, all right. So you don't want to give me a job, and you don't want me to talk about your human trafficking, and you don't want me to talk about your drug trafficking, and you don't want to talk about, me blowing that whistle that you're working with Trump on the low, committing a lot of crime, letting the real top of the top elite cartel families stay in America. Now I see that maybe some of those illegal immigrants were a little bit, more innocent than you thought. Makes sense now. Just a little bit more innocent. A little bit. Of course they're going to get rid of the more innocent before they actually go for the people that actually bring in a lot of money and have a lot of power. That bring in a lot of profit. Selling something, but not drugs or anything. A part of themselves, but like... Quinceañeras, by the way,